I finally dared to look into Iron Maiden, and it was more amazing than I could have imagined. But will they be able to blow my mind again? We shall see. Hey everybody, welcome to the Ultimate YouTube channel. It's your girl, Rosalie. This is so freaking powerful. Guess what time it is? Let's keep this short and simple, but I had to come on here. So often we're stuck in our own little world, but it's all so much bigger than we realize. Shout out today goes to Ian. Thank you for your suggestion on Buy Me a Coffee. I'm going to check out Fear of the Dark. Many of you had said that they are even more impressive live than in studio. So Ian asked me to check out the live version of Fear of the Dark. Iron Maiden. Crazy. Do they usually go dark like this? Is that intentional? Talk to me in the comments. Are you ready? Subscribe and here we go. Imagine the energy in that place. That was a catchy hook already. They're good with those melodic hooks, huh? The kind you just have to sing along to, that gets stuck in your head.
I am a man who walks alone when I'm walking a dark road, a night of strolling through the park.
Psych ward.
When the light begins to fade, sometimes feel a little strange and chilly in the dark. Fear of the dark. Fear of the dark. I have a constant fear that something's always near. Fear of the dark. Santiago! I have a phobia. Someone's always there. Run your fingers down the wall, and without your next skin crawl when you're searching for the light. Sometimes when you're scared to take a look at the corner of the room, sense that something's watching you. We're of the dark, of the dark. I have a constant fear that something's always near. Fear of the dark. Find it hard to live, 'cause you're sure there's someone there. Fear of the dark, fear of the dark. I have a constant fear that something's always near.
That switch.
Fear of the dark, fear of the dark. Have a phobia, someone's always there. dark road. I am a man who walks alone.
That is nuts. You guys were not lying. They are incredible live. The experience here of the energy, the band's energy, the fans' energy, that's another level compared to the studio recordings, even though that was epic as well. Fear of the Dark. Interesting to have such poignant and interesting lyrics. Hallowed be thy name, the number of the beast, fear of the dark, their imagery, their persona. You would think it's all dark and evil. And yet, from a psychological standpoint, it's actually pretty impressive, pretty powerful, pretty deep. Isn't it crazy how when we talk about things, when we put into the light our fear of the dark, when we are honest about our fear of the dark, and we do so in community, it often not necessarily fully alleviates the fear of the dark, but it doesn't make it so hard to deal with. And I say that because I think fear of the dark on a surface level is something we can all relate to. As children, we have our fear of the monsters being under the bed. We grow up and it's creepy for some of us more than others, right? The idea of down in the basement, a dark alley. A lot of times we find ourselves in places where we are afraid. And the darkness can mean different things to different people. It can be physical darkness. It can be things that are spiritually, religiously dark, that seem dark and evil to us, right? They're the perfect example of a lot of people going, ooh, they're dark and I don't want to deal with this, because they feel dark, that it seems dark. Again, the imagery, the lyrics, the whole energy, the whole vibe. And you may have people from certain religious and cultural contexts saying, this is dark. We're afraid of dark things that can go with things that are different to us, that are uncertain, the things that we don't understand. We're afraid of it. For other people, the darkness can be experiences because of things that happened in the dark or things that were unspoken. So to me, there's different ways of interpreting this idea of something being dark, not just physically, but dark being the place where you can't see clearly. You can't see where to put your foot next. You don't know what is around you. And that type of level of uncertainty is what I think often causes fear, that to the point that sometimes it paralyzes us, even if there's nothing else there physically. It's just even the thought alone that there might be and that it's too dark for me to see and verify. That's terrifying. And ironically, a lot of times all it takes is just turning on that switch to prove to the child there's no monster under the bed. All it takes a lot of times is to tell someone about our fears, to realize they're experiencing it too. We're not alone. It takes taking something out of the dark, putting it into the light and saying, look, these are only paper tigers, that song by Jackie Velasquez. They are only paper tigers following me in my wild imagination of the make-believe. Oh, very different genre, very different artist. But it's this idea of their paper tigers, this thing that I think is following me is nothing but a shadow. Okay, so there's something powerful about expressing, communicating our fears, doing so in community and doing so through music that is so therapeutic that, if not alleviates, at least helps ease some of those fears. And I love that they took something so catchy and entertaining. Side note, the way they're jumping around on stage and running around, even not being young spring chickens anymore, is impressive. You have to have stamina and cardio to be able to do that. And he was running back and forth. The operatic elements of his voice, those high notes, the way he just uses his vocal box and just belts. I mean, his voice is huge. Those e-guitar solos, the drum switch, those time signature switches, amazing. And again, I'm noticing, this is my second song in for Iron Maiden, how there's this in German, we would say Wiedererkennungswert. I still, to this day, have a hard time finding the right words. This value of recognizing it again, re-recognizing, I guess, where they have this signature about them, these very melodic, memorable hooks and melodies that they keep coming back to through their songs, like a red thread. You can chant along and sing along and get stuck in your head. Ohrwurm, we say in German. Freaking love it. But it kept going. They kept coming back to that. Their amazing solos, back to that, chanting, the time signature change, them running around and jumping, so much energy, so flippin' entertaining. And to be in a place like that, imagine the energy in that place of being surrounded by people that love the music you do, the mirror neurons firing off because we're seeing other people enjoy what we enjoy, our brains synchronizing as we're experiencing the same thing together. That in itself is therapeutic, to know you're not alone. And sometimes that's also how we form our sense of self, right? We look for people that are similar to us or believe what we believe, have our same values. We are tribal. We've evolved to be very tribal beings where we long for community, for someone to understand, and to sometimes even to get that bias confirmation, right? And sometimes that becomes part of our identity, right? And it's hard to break free from that and to be open-minded enough to stare into the dark and to go, let me look at this from a different angle. Let me question the things that I believe. Let me be willing to expose myself to things that are new to me in order to grow and learn. That's hard. It takes a lot of courage. But I love how you could have a song this entertaining, the energy again, the musical composition, so fun, and yet have lyrics that are this powerful, that are painting a picture, almost storytelling like, of a person walking in a dark alley, walking through a park, being afraid of the dark. On a human, basic, macro level, very relatable. On a psychological level, of course, this could also be a great song to put in words someone who has paranoia or who has a certain type of phobia, as even they mentioned at one point. That could be a great way of putting into song what it feels like to be a person that struggles with phobias or with paranoia. But I think it's presented in such a way that it's relatable to all of us, that we all know what it's like to fear the dark, whatever the dark might be for you. And again, I want to point out, there's something about taking the thing you're afraid of, including the dark, and telling other people about it. By doing so, it loses its power, because other people can now come alongside you and say, me too, dude. I mean, think of it this way. There's thousands of people here all singing at the same time, I'm afraid of the dark, I'm alone. And they're putting in words the human experience, right? When we die alone. Nobody can walk through that door with us. We come into this world alone, we leave alone. That's scary and sometimes depressing to think about. But there's benefit in facing those fears and staring into the dark and paying attention to the things we're afraid of, the uncertain, the unknown, the dark. And then saying it to somebody else, singing it to somebody else. And by doing so, even though the problem is not suddenly done with, the dark didn't become illuminated by light and now everything's happy-go-lucky, skittle-farting unicorns, there's still dark, there's still fear. But somehow, by doing so beside someone, it feels less unbearable. It feels manageable to the point of joy coming out of this experience. You guys following what I'm saying? This was freaking amazing. Ian, great suggestion. Amazing suggestion. What do you guys think? What does this song mean to you? What does Iron Maiden mean to you? What else should I react to by them? They are way deeper than I expected. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you on the next ride. Heyo!